G'day there, and welcome back to Camping Oz with Pete. We're Pete and Shez, and this is our 3-month dash around Australia. We woke up this morning about 5 o'clock at Big Horse Campground and realised we'd woke up to a blackout. Somehow I think the heat has caused the fridges to just continually run to try and keep temperature. It's just flattened the batteries in the Caravan. All good though, we just had to plug in good old Zeus, fire him up, and he was able to charge the van back up. Right now we're at the Northern Territory Western Australian border. We're about to go through the checkpoint, and hopefully we've done all the right things with our fruit and veg and nuts and things like that. I'll see you on the other side.
So we've just crossed into Western Australia. We've gone through the border checkpoint for Western Australia / Northern Territory. We did quite well, with the exception of our fruit. Avocados, cucumbers, tomatoes and oranges were confiscated. Because they've got season, we could possibly grow them. So that was the reason that they took it off us. Other than that, we passed with flying colours.
Well, we made it to Kununurra. We're just at the start of the Ivanhoe crossing. We're going to get across that and then head up to Buttons crossing. Was that exciting, Cheryl?
Petrifying.
Petrifying.
I'm just glad I wasn't doing the driving. Well done, Pete.
That was awesome. Nice and easy. I put it in 4-wheel drive just in case 4 high, but all good.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Went that way. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Do I need to just straighten up?
I don't know. Have you been listening to me or answering me?
I'm about to turn the radio on. Hey, sorry.
You're hilarious.
Right, so that's what I want to kind of do. What I need to do now to straighten that van.
Come towards me. Stop. You're gonna hit a little sapling.
Could be the perfect spot there. Let's have a look. So you said sunrise, the sun sets in the west. So there's north. Does the sun set in the west? That way?
Yes, even though you're in Western Australia, it still sets in the west.
That's good. So, what do you think? I'm thinking I might just go turn the wheels to the right. I might go forward a little bit, just a fraction, to get away from that tree there, and then happy days. Yeah?
Okay.
We're fairly easy too. We made it to Buttons Crossing this morning, about 10 o'clock WA time. We're about 2 hours behind Queensland time out here. But we've scored this ripper of a camp spot. It just reminds me out of a movie. Very quiet out here. You can probably hear my feet crunching on all the river rocks. But this will be home for us for about 5 nights. We'll settle in and see what we get up to over the next few days.
Well, we woke up to our first morning at Buttons Crossing and got to meet some of the locals. Hello! Moo! Moo! That's cow for good morning. Hopefully this morning we got some cherubin in our traps. My fingers are crossed.
Looks like we'll be able to have a fish today. We went and checked the traps this morning and look what we got. Got 4 cherubin. Yo! They got nippers too. Ow! So we'll get them out in the water and hopefully we can catch a fish. Bait bucket is absolutely awesome. So basically we've got the yellow bucket which goes on the inside of the main bucket. We can put this some water in that to keep them alive, but they're going to run out of oxygen. So what we do is we use this one, which allows you to drain the water out so you can get to your bait. And after you get to your bait, if you're at camp for a while, just pop that in and that'll fill up with water and sink down. And then your bait can stay alive. So this is up towards the top section of Buttons Crossing. Some nice rapids move through there. Nice open camping spots up here. We'll continue going for a drive up around the corner there a little bit and see what it looks like up there. So we're at the top of Buttons Crossing. And the camping's sort of between those rocks there, and there's rocks all the way down the other end, and then you sort of find patches in the middle where it's quite calm. That's what we've done. We've just gone for the quite calm and the shaded areas. But this is magnificent up here. Look at this. Not bad at all. Alright, so we've got a little bit of maintenance to do on our caravan, and we've got the idea that 2 heads is better than 1. And what has happened is our cowling here, there's a protective cover that keeps all the dust and water and moisture out of the pilot light for the gas hot water. So somehow that literally has fallen off through the vibrations of the road, and now we've just got to work out a way to cover it. So we've come up with the idea of this. We're going to try a Woolies bag. We're going to peel off the sides, and then we're going to use the side and some Velcro to put over that and Velcro it on. I don't know if you can see that very good, but we'll put our plan into motion and we'll come back and give you a look at the finished product. Alright, so we finished our little makeshift cowling cover, and look at that. Looks like it'll keep most of the dust out and even any water, at least till we can get a new cowling to replace it. Alright, so what we used to temporarily fix our little issue of stopping the dust and water from getting into there was we used some Velcro around the outside, and then we used a old Woolies bag and Velcro on that, and now it works an absolute treat. This brings me to my travel tip of the day. A couple of things you should always carry: a packet of zip ties, gaffer tape, some insulation tape, and the old Velcro. Will fix many things, and you just never know when you're going to need it. This tip brought to you by Camping Oz with Pete. We're gonna cook a damper. Gonna cook a damper. It's gonna be a really great damper. G'day. Alright, we're gonna have a stew for dinner tonight, and I'm gonna make a basic Aussie damper so we can mop up that lovely stew tonight. Now, this basic Aussie damper that I'm gonna make, I got it for a guy called Ranger Nick. Check out his YouTube channel, Ranger Nick, and he does some awesome stuff with his camp oven and dampers and breads and whatnot. Anyway, I'm going to be using 4 cups of self-raising flour, a teaspoon of salt, and just enough lukewarm water to create a nice Play-Doh consistency. There's our ingredients there: some salt, some self-raising flour, a bit of lukewarm water, spoon, knife. That's it, all we need in a bowl. So the other night when I was talking about having some heat beads as a backup, there's not a lot of wood around here, so the heat beads come in quite handy. These are just normal heat beads, just heat beads from Bunnings. You can use heat beads from anywhere you want to buy them. I've got this awesome little fire pit here. I've stoked it with some paper and some wood and some bits and pieces, and I've got my heat beads on top. These will turn a nice grey colour when they're ready, and that'll get them nice and hot, and they'll last about anywhere from 20 minutes to half an hour of heat bead. And then of course we've got our camp oven ready for our damper. So I'm just cutting through the flour now, with the lukewarm water added, just trying to get that Play-Doh consistency. Not too far from it now. So these heat beads are ready now. Have a look down here and you'll see how they've got that nice grey colour to them. So they're just good to go. So we'll get them out and we'll show you what it looks like once we set it all up. We're going to put about 10 heat beads on the bottom. And then we're going to put about 12 on top. It's hot in there, eh? 3, 6, 9, 10. Alright. We're going to put some flour on the bottom. Spread it around. So this is going to do what a trivet will do. It'll help stop the damper from sticking or burning. Our damper. Drop him in there like that. Going to get about 12 beads on top. And give that about 20 minutes. So it's been 15 minutes. If you wonder why I giggle at the start of each video, guys, I gotta tell you, we're not very good at doing what we're doing, but we're having fun. And my lovely wife Cheryl behind the camera gives me a little nod, hello, when I'm ready to start talking. So when you hear me giggle, That's the reason. Alright, so it's been 15 minutes. We're just going to do a quick check on the damper. We can also just run your hand over the top gently and just check, make sure it's still got good heat coming out, which we have. This is that little hook I was telling you about in one of the last episodes. But, oh, that's beautiful. So that's another 15 minutes. I reckon that'll be looking good. So, alright, so it's been about 30 minutes. We're going to have a quick look at now and check it out. Have a look at that. Sounds good and hollow. Sounds good. That looks good. Alright, so what we'll do, we'll get our glove. Take that off the heat. How good does that sound? Alright, now I know we said we're going to wait till I cook my stew tonight. But when you smell your damper, you will be instantly hungry. So we're going to have a little afternoon tea. We're going to cut a little piece of damper off. Guys, nice and fluffy. Take some margarine. Oh, yum. Bit on this one. Can't beat the old raspberry jam. Throw a slab onto that. There we go. Oh. We'll throw a slab onto that. There you go, guys. Bit of afternoon tea. I hope you enjoyed that damper cooking we did earlier on today. Now the boss has spoken and said while we've got heat beads going and nice cooking coals, I should start the stew. And given it's about 20 to 3 in the afternoon here in WA, we're going to want about 2 to 3 hours for this nice stew to cook. So I'm just going to run through some of the ingredients with you, and I'm going to get it going and show you bits and pieces on the way through. It's easy cooking at its best. We're relaxed, we're sitting down, we're enjoying it. Just want our meat to be cooking. I've got about 12 to 14 heat beads under the camp oven, and it's just enough to keep a nice steady cook going until we get that meat nice and tender. So we've got about 500 grams of chuck steak. Before coming camping, we froze these into little individual meal-sized bags of mixed veg. We cut up some carrots and things because we weren't too sure about crossing into the border. We did freeze our onions so we didn't get them taken off of us. In here we've got some bay leaves, we've got some garlic, ginger, thyme, some rosemary, a bit of chili. We've got some salt, some pepper, and I got a little beef cube here I'm going to throw in there too. I think I said got bay leaves in there, but anyway. And we've got this can of whole potatoes. So I've had this chuck steak cooking for about an hour, just on a slow, steady heat. In amongst that hour, we've also added our herbs and garlic and bay leaves and everything. And that is ready for the rest of the vegetables. So we're just going to add the rest of the vegetables in now. Alright, so it's been about an hour and 15, and we've been just stirring it every 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It's pretty much ready. We just made up some flour and water, just a bit of a thickening agent. And we'll give you a look at this stew. Oh, check that out. Let out our water. Just gonna stir this around a little bit. Oh, you can almost smell that at home, can't you guys? Alright, that's our dinner. 2.5 or about 2 hours and 15 minutes. We've got a beautiful beef stew for dinner with that lovely damper. I've made it extra runny so we can soak it up with the damper. Now, unfortunately, we're at camp. It's not all roses, sunshines, and attempting to catch barramundi. Sometimes you've just got to air your dirty laundry. And guess what? That's what we're doing. Yes, guys, it's wash day. We've got our wash cycle, our rinse cycle, and then our drying cycle, which is hanging up right there. And no, I'm not getting out of it. I'm the rinser to help and the hanger-upper. So we've left Buttons Crossing nice and early this morning. We're going to make our way closer to Broome, but first of all we're stopped at the Mirama National Park. We're going to go for a bit of a trail walk through the area. There's various walks you can do, various classes. We'll have a look and see which one we want to do in a minute. So that's the maps you can follow. So I'll do a bit of a walk here.
What do you think?
That was an easy walk. It's like 250 meters each way. What was I worried about? Let's go find another one.
Well, like Peter said, this is the end of our trail.
As soon as though we completed that class 3 walk in stunning fashion, Cheryl and I decided we'd go for the class 4 walk. The Derby Giringbenan. Class 4, 800 meters, says to allow 30 minutes. Climb up moderate slopes over the eroded sandstone landscape of the Mirima and view the surrounding Ord Valley. Alrighty. That's the walk we're going to have a go at. All right, let's go. So this is the main turnaround point when you get to the end of the car park. That way, if you've got a caravan or a bus, you can turn around easily. And this is also where your disabled parking is, and toilets are just behind those trees there. Alright, so we're going to go for another bit of a wander, have a look, and we might take you along the ride for this one. Emu apple. So this tree is brown, papery bark grows to 12 meters, flowers are white, October to November. So that was actually part of the Class 1 walk. So for disabled wheelchairs and things like that, you know, people like that with vision impairments and so forth, have carers. That's a really nice, easy walk, roll, whatever mobility device you need to use. And just gives you a nice little walk around so you can still experience the beauty of this place. Pretty cool, WA.
So that was such a short walk. We are going to do a second walk. So this is actually a class 4. The previous one was a class 3 walk, which means it is supposed to be a little bit more difficult. And hopefully we'll have a better view of something. So we'll see how we go. This is only supposed to be about 800 meters and should take about a half an hour. Let's see. I must take my hat off to the Western Australian government or council of the area. They've really thought about tourism and making it accessible to people so that they can actually enjoy the outdoors. Look at these, all different directions. You can enjoy a walk with ease. Well, relatively easier than just having to trample through a bush. Okay, looks like we've got to do some climbing. We have 2 sets of stairs. Which one shall we take, Pedro?
So one to the left, we follow the little green boot arrow.
Okay, that's what we're climbing. It's relatively easy. It looks more daunting from afar, but the rocks are...
What'd you say?
It's relatively easy. It looks more daunting from afar.
Absolutely.
But it's quite like steppy. It's looking down over Kununurra. Well worth the walk. And that's where we've come from. So we'll head back in the same direction.
Well, that wasn't too bad. It was not easy. If you got some hip or knee issues, it might be a bit of a problem. But overall, I found Mirama National Park to be quite enjoyable. What do you reckon, Cheryl?
Yes, I enjoyed it as well.
You enjoyed it?
Whoops.
Oop, Cheryl got a stick stuck.
It was really enjoyable. I loved it. The rock formations are incredible.
Alright, well we're going to make our way back to the car park and grab a bit of brekkie and have a little rest, and then we'll see what else Kununurra has to offer. Well, after stopping at the local car wash and giving the van and Zeus a good old scrub-a-dub-dub, we made our way to the Hoochery Distillery. Had a bit of a look inside there, checked it out. You can do tastings and all sorts of things in there, get a meal. Unfortunately, we're not rum drinkers, so there's a couple other liqueurs in there as well, but anyway, time to move on. Well, after checking out Kununurra for the day and looking at a few of the sites and things around Kununurra, we've rolled into this beautiful, beautiful rest area called Leicester's Rest Area. There's a few caravans here. There's toilets. There's a dump point. Beautiful sunset. You can travel down the road down there and you go down to the Ord River. I don't know how much water's in it. Wouldn't be too much, I would imagine. And there's also camping spots over there, and there's our little setup just there. But not too bad at all. This will do us for one night, and then we'll hop up in the morning early and push along again closer to Broome. That brings us to the end of this episode. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.